Superman and give away some stuff. And this is Nerdist News. After nearly 2 years of Dong of Justin jokes, Batman v Superman is here, y'all. Woo! And I'm assuming you've already seen it because, of course, you have. But if you somehow haven't, spoiler alert, this episode is all about the future of the DC Cinematic Universe. So we're gonna straight up talk about BVS's ending. Final warning, I am not kidding on this one. Clear out people who somehow avoided pre-ordering opening night tickets. Come back later this weekend. So here goes. By the end of BVS, Superman is dead. Told you. Spoilers. But also clearly not dead, because some floating dirt above his grave tells us he's not, or that he was buried on an ancient Indian anti-gravity chamber or pet cemetery. And also, the subtitle of the movie is Dawn of Justice, aka the Justice League, which is a league that Superman is in. So, yeah. But how will the Son of Krypton return in next fall's Justice League Part 1? Well, our first guess would have to be based on the Death and Return of Superman arc. After his death, the sometimes hero, sometimes villain, named the Eradicator, who was masquerading as Superman, stole the Man of Steel's corpse, put it in a regeneration matrix, which then broke open and released the real Superman like an undercooked muffin from a super-powered easy-bake oven. Our bet, though, is on some sort of Kryptonian Genesis chamber, the likes of which were used to create Doomsday in BVS. Only this time, we hope Henry Cavill doesn't come out looking like that one troll from The Hobbit. As for Batman, wasn't Ben Affleck good? Like, surprisingly good? After overcoming his initial cynicism, his new mission is to find the other metahumans, Nick Fury style, that Lex Luthor was keeping tabs on. Aquaman, Cyborg, Flash, and presumably then unite them into some sort of league for justice, along with his new pal, Wonder Woman. More on her in just a second. But first, what do we know about the DCEU's take on these three new heroes? We didn't learn much about Aquaman, who was straight up creeping in the scuttled ruins of a ship before swimming at the speed of sound and chucking his trident at cameras like some sort of superpowered Brick Tamlin. We can tell that he's aggressive, super fast, which must scare away any potential fish friends. Right, and though this might have just been a mistake, appears to hold his breath underwater. Definitely guessing the King of Atlantis will be able to breathe in the sea when we see him in his own solo flick, alongside Amber Heard as his fishwife Mera in 2018, and hopefully he will be able to mount his mighty aqua steed, like in the old cartoons, also known as a seahorse. I love how we all laugh at that. Next up is Cyborg. Much like his movie, the character was still very much in development. Get it? Oh, that's kind of awful. His father, Dr. Silas Stone, has him in what is clearly the Star Labs Red Room. His son, Victor, is propped up on a wall and is little more than a torso and some machinery. In keeping with the film's allusions to Darkseid, we see the good doctor fidgeting with what looks like a mother box, which are basically the iPhones of Darkseid's planet, Apocalypse. Anyway, the box goes bonkers and starts turning Victor from meat puppet into man-machine. We don't really get a sense of what Ray Fisher will bring to the character, and we have until 2020 to see his solo flick. But before we see him go full cyborg, Dr. Silas turns off the camera, probably to drink more Dr. Pepper, because he had a Dr. Pepper in every single shot. Dr. Pepper, drink us when your child is on his deathbed. And finally, I mean, you could have found better product placement moments. And finally, The Flash, who we see in both Lex Luthor's files and in one of Batman's nightmare sequences. In his Luthor clip, Flash stops a thief from robbing a convenience store, but with an explosive side effect. Is Barry Allen in full control of his powers yet? Will he be dangerously unskilled when the League forms? I wouldn't be surprised if Barry learning to hone his abilities was a major subplot of Justice League. And in the nightmare sequence, we saw what appears to be a much more futuristic take on the speedster, wearing a high-tech armored suit and warning Batman that he was right to fear the Son of Krypton. Now this is a panel ripped straight from Crisis on Infinite Earths, which makes sense given that Zack Snyder has admitted that DC is fully embracing the multiverse. But anyway, back to the most exciting part of BVS. Wonder Woman. Though her screen time was limited in the flick, we'll have a much clearer idea of who this iteration of Diana Prince is by the time we reach Justice League, because her own solo flick is gonna drop just a few months before in the summer of 2017. And we got our best look yet at the movie via EW this week in an insanely rad photo that we did a whole breakdown about yesterday. Link at the end of this video. All 4 of these women look insanely badass, which, as director Patty Jenkins pointed out, is the whole idea. She said, "I, as a woman, want Wonder Woman to be hot as hell, fight badass, and look great at the same time, the same way men want Superman to have huge pecs and an impractically big body." Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. But the very next DCEU movie we'll see will be, of course, Suicide Squad, and thankfully it looks amazingly weird. We don't know yet how much bearing the squad will have on Justice League, though it's hard to see how they'd be involved unless some villains transferred over in addition to the rumored Darkseid, but it should at the very least expand the scope of the DCEU, which needs to happen since Batman v Superman had to try to do as much heavy lifting in one movie as Marvel did in 12 movies. Either way, we can't wait to watch the DCEU continue to grow in a way that so far seems quite different from the MCU. But what do you guys think? Are you excited about the future of the DCEU after watching BVS? Which solo flick are you most excited for? Do you think the studio will let Lobo be R-rated, even though Charles Roven says there won't be an R-rated DC film? Let's discuss. Check out our Wonder Woman picture breakdown, and here's how you can get this armored Batman, Pop Heroes, and Dorbs Green Superman and Blue Aquaman. Click the link to tweet in the post below, and we'll pick a fan at random to win. No Marthas will die tonight. No Marthas! Get all your Marthas at Nerdist.com.